Hello friends, how you doing? Day 162, Wednesday night. It's about 11:20 now, so coming a little bit late, but it's been a long day. It's been a great day. I just want to come in and share a little bit of thoughts on the documentary I saw yesterday called The New Corporation, The Unfortunately Necessary Sequel. So this is actually the second one that they did. They did one, I think, over a dozen years ago, or about a decade ago. And along with this one, they talked about how corporations have risen in power over the last few decades. And, I've kind of seen it, I can kind of tell and see and understand that that's happening. But just the way that they actually put together all these examples and these numbers together and figures, that I was like, wow, it's quite amazing how powerful corporations have become. And with that, certain individuals have been able to attain quite a bit of power. And with that, right now, for certain for certain people, if they wanted certain laws to actually be legislated, they can actually buy certain people's favor to have them change certain laws in their favor. And why? At the end of the day, it's all about the money, my friends. Right? It's a lot of it's greed. And I'm not saying any of these people are bad, right? The whole reason for starting business is to be profitable and to be making money. And they talked about how nowadays a lot of companies are starting with the with the adage of people, profit, and planet, right? And although it sounds great, and a lot of people may have that intention, at the end of the day, first and foremost, a company needs to survive and it has to be profitable. And so they will do whatever they need to make that happen. And there were a number of examples where it was just quite horrific what's happening. Some people being killed, especially people standing up for land, the indigenous, because certain oil companies want to create an oil pipe through certain land. And other things are, corporations coming to certain ecosystems and just tearing down that area. And why? Because they need that land to create certain things that we want in the Western world, because we demand it. And so every decision that we make actually makes the difference. It impacts so many people around the world. And I've seen a number of other excuse me, things as well, just posts that people do on social media with regards to the impact of certain people who give us the food that we want. Right? For example, cashews, right? A lot of it, I think, is done in Africa, where a lot of ladies, there's the acid in the cashews are burning their fingers, and the reason why they're doing that is because we want cashews. And there's some other stuff, for example, chocolate, cocoa farmers, and so forth. And so that's why fair trade is actually quite important. So if you actually care about that stuff, which I think is important, then that's where you would want to try and find the fair trade labels. But just going back to the power of the corporation, because things have changed so much in the last few decades. Again, certain people are having a lot of power, and the only way to really stop them at this time is just what the documentary is hinting at or suggesting is just through political force. Okay, but of course, when it comes I've studied leadership for a number of years now, and really when it comes down to everything, I believe that one of the most important things to always have at the forefront are values, good values with character, and because without those, then it's very easy to lose your way. It's very easy to allow greed to take over our decision making, and at the end of the day, that doesn't really help the planet overall and people overall. It may help a small handful of people, and that's really what's happening right now. And we all have the power to actually change things. How? It's through where we buy, right? So, for example, one of the largest companies is Amazon, right? They wield a lot of power. They started with books, but now they sell everything. They have an amazing distribution system, and they've just gone into every freaking sector, right? They've gone to video, TV, their own channel, and just so many different things. And so, you know, for me, I like to support local. So, what does that mean? That probably means I have to pay a little bit more. But in the overall scheme of things, what's an extra $5, $10, $20 here and there? What's that really going to impact me in terms of my lifestyle? Probably not much. And same with you, right? But when we think and believe that we are all individual units or individual family units, then we forget that we're actually a part of a bigger global unit. And so, you know, just those are just some of the thoughts. Like, you know, it posed a question on the documentary. You know, we live in an age where there's so many advances in technology and in the age of so much innovation. But are we actually progressing? That's the question. Are we progressing as a society, even with all these innovations that we're making? And I don't know if you ever stop to really think about these things, right? For me, those are important questions, right? Because we are all interconnected in some way, shape, or form. All human beings on this planet, whether we understand it or whether we even think about it, but we are. And so my hope is, you know, for you to just to think about some of these things and, you know, be more aware of your decisions and actually what's happening in the world. But, you know, who knows what happens in the next 10, 20, 30 years. Things are going to change again. And, you know, my hope is that people educate themselves, you know, at least know what's going on. And so that you can make more informed decisions. Because your decisions, we vote with our dollars, will make an impact overall. And then the last thing I'll say is that what the documentary mentioned was that how certain groups of people are resisting and creating movements to actually stop some of these atrocious things happening, right? The Occupy movement. What else? Like I said, you know, occupying land, the resistance against the indigenous, right? And so when people do this, it actually allows certain people to get into office that truly are fighting and working for the people. And so I'm hoping more uprising and more resistance happens for against things that are not right. You know, it mentioned the Black Lives Matter movement, right? There's so many things going on, folks. My hope is just for you to kind of just keep your eyes open, right? Dig deep, a little deeper into different issues, because again, everything is interrelated, interconnected. Okay. Anyways, just some of my thoughts for tonight. I hope you are doing amazing on this hump day, and I will see you tomorrow. Good night.